could breed someone to think negative thoughts and accumulate actions such as that, or just something that just triggered in them over time that just they're like, no, like their just idea of ending their life was bringing others down with them. And there's not much I can really say about the two, but
his ex-wife did come out and say, and I quote, he had a lot of demons. And again, whether she's saying that figuratively or literally, those were her words. He had a lot of demons. And I was at the gym and I saw that on the TV, and I was like, how interesting. Like, that word we use. And so going back to the topic of suicide, and I know we didn't get off track. Number one, we didn't. There was a lot of connection there between the two, because this was this weekend, and I do think I will go ahead and say I think one of my number one votes as to what's causing suicide is a manifestation of demonic energy now, or evil energy. Now, you could say, well, Jacob, what do you mean? I think if you look at popular culture in the number one shows that we celebrate as a culture, they're typically driven by violence. And we see murder on our shows like nothing. Like the other day on HBO, The Purge was on, and this is a movie about people killing each other legally. I mean, that's what The Purge is. And they're on part 3 already. Okay, so it not only part 1 was disgusting, but part 2 was successful enough to make a part 3. Is what I'm saying, and that's just one show. I think that, or one television movie, or one movie. Then if you look at like Walking Dead, if you look at Narcos, if you look at just popular television, typically has violence intertwined in it, to the point where I'm not shocked that if we're consistently consuming this as a society, that our mind is picking that up, our subconscious is playing with that. So, just because I'm using the word demonic energy doesn't mean that it's like a flame is going to come into your home and say, this is demonic energy. I believe that it's sort of just what are we exposing to and becoming desensitized to. Because if you talk to the average person, right? Like, was what happened on Saturday a sad event? I mean, on Sunday, was it sad? And then how much sadness is actually in you right now? Because, does that make sense? You can intellectually say it, but I'm saying, but how much sadness is in your heart right now? That's my question. Do you see what I'm saying? And intellectually, it's sad, but on some level, we're desensitized to it. I'll plead guilty to that. Like, I know it's sad. It is, period. And all I'm saying is that on some level, we're becoming desensitized, where within 40 days, there's been 75 people killed in a public setting by gunmen. And we're sort of like, keep moving. Like, okay, yeah, that is sad. That's terrible. Okay, I got to go to work. Or, okay, I got to do this. But we're not really like feeling, I think. And again, I think there's a desensitization, and that's what I mean by demonic forces. Like, it's like we are ignoring the evil, and sort of, that's what I mean by demonic influence. It's not just, I'm not stupid. I'm not like, oh, there's a flame and there's the shot, like crystals, and it's not like that. I'm saying there's literal ways where it comes into our mind and our psyche, and we desensitize to it, and we manifest it, and we celebrate it. I mean, because we're watching it on TV, whether we like to admit it or not, there's a level of celebration. We are saying, this is good to watch, isn't it? I mean, aren't we? Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I don't really watch TV and stuff, but yeah, I've heard a lot about those TV shows, and in a way, like I guess, because I'm not one to say that television and music drives us to insanity. I believe it's something other than that. I mean, although a lot of people would disagree with me and say, oh no, like music, generally what music talks about drives a person to do certain things. like instances with hip hop and Tupac Shakur and gang related incidents. I believe like it's just a way of showing the general population what has happened or what is out there, or in the sense of Walking Dead, just something to keep them entertained. It's not a sense of driving them to do something, to enact those.
Yeah, I don't think it's a direct, like, it's not a direct order.
Exactly, it's not.
I think what I'm saying is
it wasn't created to manifest something negative. It was just created to. One, some of them were created historically. I believe Narcos was created off of I forgot the
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo Escobar, and obviously Walking Dead isn't real, but zombies drive a lot of people. So there's like, let's make one about zombies. So stuff like in a sense, it's just a way of driving the crowd, because again, a lot of people watch TV and it's something they're going to get away from, and I think it's less toxic than news reports itself, because you get a lot of mixed signals with different TV.
Yeah, but I'm saying it is. I'm not just saying one thing. I'm saying it's a subconscious implanting. So one of my mentors, Jim Rohn, he said, stand guard at the door of your mind. And in having two different periods of my life, I do hypnosis myself, I do affirmations, I do meditation. And, I'm at the point in my life where I sense that if a singer has like a downtrodden, defeatist attitude, I'll change it now. Because I'm like, that's just not me. I'm not a defeatist. I'm not defeated. Does that make sense? Whereas I think if you think about one of my mentors, this was years ago, he said, he brought up Rolling Stones, like, I can't get no satisfaction. He brought up that song. And at the time I thought, this guy's picking on Mick Jagger's I Can't Get No Satisfaction. But now looking back, it makes sense that it's to me, knowing if you really study hypnosis and if you really try to hypnotize yourself, and I've gone through like 300 or 400 hypnosis sessions, and to me, I'm really starting to see a blurred line now between music and hypnosis. There's really not much of a difference.
Right.
The only difference is potentially that hypnosis was designed for you to lay down and immerse completely, but isn't that what people do with music?
Yeah, in a sense, because for exercise, in exercise purposes, it is definitely a way to like how people like pump themselves up,
right,
before they go to the gym, or get them to push themselves that extra mile that they run or something like that. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
Okay. Yeah. So that's sort of what I was saying, is that's what I'm going to vote is a big driver towards that to like bringing that up, like in people. In other words, if you're listening to negative music, if you're listening to negative television shows, if you're just consuming yourself with negativity, then to garbage in, garbage out kind of concept, where it's like the same thing if you put wealth in, wealth out. In other words, if you're consistently consuming the ideas of wealth, then naturally, or you're right now pushing your body, you're consuming the ideas of health. Have you seen an increase in that? And so by that same token, if we consume ideas of negativity and violence, I'm just not shocked that the human brain is going to produce that. Whether, okay, you're feeling like shit, well, there is this solution called suicide, and that's what I'm saying. I think again, myself, I depend on the subconscious mind. I depend on these things to produce.
Can we pause it?
We actually can't, but
no,
we gotta go to the restroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, we'll start wrapping it up.
This has been going on for I don't know how long.
Yeah, we'll start wrapping it up, man.
You can't pause it?
I can't.
You can't edit it? No.
I can't edit it.
They're gonna see this.
Yeah, they're gonna see this. Yeah. I mean, but it's deep into the video. It would have to be somebody that. I mean, hey, like put it like this. If you want to just go, I'll just take. Go. Okay, so obviously as you've seen today, there's many reasons or theories as to why someone may have suicidal thoughts. Okay. As for myself, I myself have experienced negative thoughts or deep emotional, trenches within myself. And I've been alive long enough and spoken to enough people to know that I'm not alone in that. Now, there are some people that clearly say, well, I'm depressed and I struggle with this, and they struggle with these thoughts on a significant level in many different days out of the year. That's definitely not my reality. What I will say is I just wanted to put myself in the contrast there, because people will typically say, Jacob, you're a positive person, or et cetera, et cetera. And I'm saying, even if you're a positive person, I think there are moments in your life where you're going to deal with these intrinsic internal battles within yourself, where you may think to yourself, hey, you know what? I need to take care of myself negatively, or out myself, okay? Yeah, we don't necessarily have a complete solution as to suicide. Maybe on some level, suicide is as we've seen in Shakespearean plays, suicide is a standard occurrence that has happened for many years. Maybe it will always be part of the human history and the human reality. I just wanted to make this video, like I said, because people that I know and heroes of mine have spoken about it so much that it's gotten to the point where,